What is up, YouTube? Yes, I just did the C-Bump intro. It has been a while since I've been on here. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, I regularly upload there. But the last time I did a vlog series or long form video was back in 2021 when I was prepping for my second competitive season. Since then, a lot's happened. We have had our 2023 competition season where I competed in 8 shows across classic physique and bodybuilding, so 24 times on stage, 8 peak weeks in a row. And now we enter the 2025 competition season. We are 5 days out from the first show of the season. Started the diet on the 12th of February. So that means it has already been 31 weeks of dieting with 5 days till show 1 and 8 weeks until the final show, which will be show number 6. So first of all, where has this guy been? Well, look, I've still been busy with content, but just a different form. So I've pretty much been trying to maintain 3 to 4 uploads every single week on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. But I really wanted to get back on YouTube at some point, and I literally just grabbed my Osmo Pocket 3, got my mic, and thought, why not do it now, 5 days out, doing my morning steps. We got 14,000 to tick off. Plenty of time to talk to you guys. What I want to do is really document these crucial weeks. Look, we're about to bring something exciting to the stage. The goal was to take a 2.5-year gap, not to chill, but to implement an 18-month off season, put on some quality size, with gaining phases and mini cuts to not blow out the physique, and bring in something truly next level for myself in the classic physique division. For those of you that do follow my socials, I love the art of posing. I put hours and hours and hours into posing, creating routines and things like that. So it's time to go all in. Now, in terms of documenting from this point, I'm not going to do daily videos because, like I said, I still do about 4 uploads a week on Instagram, and that is very time consuming in addition to posing, meal prep, work, because I'm not a full-time bodybuilder. I still have a job. So the plan is I'm gonna record bits and pieces of every single day and cut them up into maybe a 15 or 20-minute video series, a weekly series, and continue to upload that here. And that's gonna include things like right now, as we enter peak week number 1, then backstage antics at the shows, pump-ups, bits of me traveling and what states I'm going to for shows, and probably also my journey as this year. For show number 5 and show number 6, I will be making my international debut. Now, I have not dropped details on that yet. I probably will in video 2 or video 3. It's very exciting. I honestly cannot wait to get to that country and compete in my first series of international shows. Now, I'm not going to continue yapping away for 14,000 steps worth of content here. What I'm going to do for each week video, like I said, is include bits and pieces of each day across the 7-day period as weekly series. So today we started off with my steps. I'll tune back in when I'm having meal 1 and maybe just say whatever comes to mind. And then we are also, before that, going to show you the physique update process. So every week on Tuesday on Instagram, I upload a photo with 4 squares of images, but in reality, that process takes about 5-6 minutes, and I take about 30 photos sometimes and send that to my coach, Daniel. I only upload the highlights or the 4 favorite shots on Instagram, but I'll set up this Osmo Pocket in addition to my phone like I normally do and show you guys that process. Then get into meal 1, share some thoughts about whatever comes to mind, and go into more detail about where show number 1 is this coming Saturday and what the game plan is in terms of peak week and how we are approaching that. All right, people, so we are back from the morning walk. 10,500 steps out of the 14,000 for the day. Probably hit the rest doing day-to-day tasks. And now we have our meal number 1 here. So basically just a big sort of voluminous oats bowl for now. But yeah, productive morning, got my steps done, did some grocery shopping, had a coffee. We've got Kyber here chilling in the background on the bed, as you can see. And now we are basically just gonna house this first meal and then slowly get into some work for the day. A lot of people don't know, I used to work as a diagnostic radiographer in a hospital for 4 years, and now I have started a new job midway through prep 14 weeks ago as an application specialist. What is that? Long story short, basically helping set up labs in hospitals for heart surgery, vascular surgery. So some days we are on site, some days I'm work from home. And that is a blessing in prep, because my last job was about 6-7 days on my feet every single day, wearing lead in theaters, breaking my back. So this is a blessing indeed. Now, before I talk anymore, I'm going to house this and then come back to the video and have a little chat. You know what? I wasn't going to tell you guys the shows just yet, the exact shows, including my international show coming up. But if you're watching this far, you will find out after I down this meal. So I'll check back in with you in about 10 minutes. All right, so I have absolutely housed my meal, and just before I get into some work, like I said, I just want to talk about a few things. So let's first start off with how am I feeling? Now, doing competition preps before and lengthy ones, you know, over 30, 32 weeks, I know when to expect certain things, or I knew when to expect certain things. So from memory, I already knew that week 6 to week 2, or 6 weeks out to 2 weeks out, would be the hardest part for me. You know, obviously being such low body fat can affect things such as your energy availability, mental fatigue plays a big role. You get a lot of brain fog. And just being low body fat, you know, messes with your hormones, even as a natural athlete. But yes, it did hit quite hard 2 weeks ago. A lot of self-doubt, wanting to possibly, you know, pull out of a show or two. But I had to remind myself of what I've done in the past and what I set out to do, which is 2023. I set out to do 8 shows back to back. And I put my money where my mouth is, where I literally paid for all those shows 10 months out. And I did the exact same thing this year. I paid for all my shows in February of this year, including my international debut. And here we are. It is Monday, the 15th of September. We are on stage on the 20th, this Saturday, for NBA Melbourne. So that is show number 1. Daniel Chappelle, my coach, and I have laid out the groundwork and the plan. Right now, I know, and I can confidently say that the energy will ramp up from, you know, Wednesday, Thursday this week and carry through for the next 8 weeks until I'm done with all my shows. And I know that because, you know, once the ball starts rolling with the first show, carbs start coming in, peak week, having stage photos and videos, there'll probably be a lot of people messaging, which I really appreciate. There will just be a lot more momentum mentally, physically, and just for the whole season as a whole, and I just cannot wait. So what's the game plan for peak week number 1? Well, we are changing things up. So for 2023, we pretty much followed a mid-load for all 8 shows, which means that usually the Monday, Tuesday, you maintain your lower nutrition, so lower carb, lower fat, high steps. And then on the Wednesday and Thursday, we carbed up pretty heavily. From memory, in 2023, around 400-ish grams of carbs and a bit more fats on the Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, you taper it down a little bit and then eat as needed or carb up as needed on the day of the show. As we have many shows lined up, first show being in 5 days and the last show being in 8 weeks, we are striving to come in at about 85 or 90% conditioning for this first show. We're definitely going to chip away a bit more and dig a bit deeper after this show. So we are going to basically still be digging Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and doing a more assertive carb load on the Friday. 380 grams or so of carbs on the Friday, and then assessing the look throughout the day, morning fasted photos, post-workout pumped photos, and then of course photos on Saturday morning once I have a tan slapped on me as well from Friday night. We are following this approach, which is known as a backload. So that's basically the game plan for peak week. Other than that, steps are remaining at 14,000 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're going to drop it down to about, 10,000. And Friday, we're going to drop it down quite a bit, pretty much keep the feet up as much as I can and keep it around 2,000 to 4,000 to the best of my ability. Aside from that, just some admin tasks. So I will get a full body wax tomorrow, and that'll be the first time I'm getting that done. I've never had a full body wax, but I'm keen to do it so I can save myself sitting in a bathtub and using a plastic razor all over my body each and every week for each show. I'm not a hairy man by any means at all, but I always like to make sure there is not a single bit of regrowth before I get the tan on so I can get a perfect looking tan. So the wax should definitely help with that. Then after that, Wednesday, get a fresh fade leading up to the Saturday show. Thursday, have my work day and then fly out to Melbourne from Sydney Thursday night, where I'll be staying with my sister, which is a great help. And then on Friday, we basically do registration for NBA. We get our base tan on, and Saturday we rock and roll. show starts at 10 a.m. and goes to about 2 a.m. for the guys divisions. Now, every other show this season, I am focusing on just doing classic physique. But for this first one, I could not hang up my bodybuilding trunks just yet. So we are doing our first division on the day as bodybuilding under 30, because why not? And then we are doing classic physique under 30 and classic physique open overall. Now, I'd be lying if I wasn't going to win this show and bring out the overall. But look, like we always say in the sport, we don't know who's showing up. We don't know who's there until we're there on the day. I don't like to look at the sheets of competitors. Doesn't matter to me. Can't control anything else that's going to take place there. So I'll bring my best in terms of the package I can bring. Obviously not 100% is what we're aiming for, but I'll bring my best to the stage, display it to the best of my ability, and bring my absolute A game when it comes to posing. And I can't wait to get stage videos and photos and share that with you guys. Now for the much anticipated reveal of the shows I'm doing after this one. So basically we have 4 shows lined up in Australia and a 5th one overseas. First show is this Saturday, which is NBA Melbourne States. 2 weeks after that, October 4th, is WNBF Brisbane, which I'm super excited for. Then October 12th is NBA Nationals in Sydney, my only show on home turf. And then on the 18th of October, the weekend after that, we are going to Queensland to compete in the INBA show. And there is a big reason why we're doing this show. That is because it is going to help me qualify for the main show, or the most prestigious show I'll be doing this season, which is the INBA Natural Olympia in Las Vegas. Now, that is a show that I had been planning to do since May 2023 in terms of a build-up, and we are almost there. So that's a show that I'm going to leave no stone unturned. That's on November 7th, so 2 weeks after I finish up my Australia shows. But just as per 3 days ago, I just managed to spot that OCB, another federation, has a show in Las Vegas on the 8th. The day after. So what I will be doing is obviously doing my 4 shows in Australia, heading to Vegas on the 3rd, competing in the INBA Natural Olympia on the 7th, and then pretty much scrubbing off my tan, putting on another layer, and jumping back on stage the next day to actually wrap up my season in America for the OCB Las Vegas Showdown. Then that will pretty much wrap up 39 weeks, so 8 or 9 months of competition prep. And I'm not just going to fly back to Australia. If I'm dieting all that time, I want to enjoy some good food and good scenery. So we are actually going to be staying back in America for 3.5 weeks after the show until December 3rd. And I will be vlogging all of that. And I've already thought of a title for the series, so it'll be like what I'm doing now, only a weekly series drop. I do not want to be editing every day when I'm on holiday, so it is going to be shredded Australian bodybuilder gets fat in America, because I'm expecting to aim to put on a good 6 to 10 kilos while I'm there, enjoy some cheesecake, some desserts. I'm a sweet tooth at heart, so stay tuned for that to come as well. Now, this is where I'm going to cut it. As I said, I will record a few bits and pieces throughout the rest of the week, such as posing, check-ins with the coach, physique check-ins outside of my usual spot, and then, of course, traveling to Melbourne, backstage antics, pump up, tanning, whatever I can record. So stay tuned for that. This will be episode 1, and I'll be doing one every single week leading into all the shows this season, and then the Bodybuilder Gets Fat series in America shortly after. Apologies for the horrendous video quality. I'm back on my iPhone because I realized I did not do an outro to the video. If you have watched till the end, thank you. It's just a little past 9 p.m. I am out to tick off the rest of my steps for the day. But yes, if you have watched till now, thank you so much. We are back on the channel. This first video was just really an intro, an update on life, an update on prep. I already have another video in the works, which is going to come out within the next 2 or 3 days. So 2 videos within the 7-day period. And that one is going to be a lot more exciting. That's going to have things such as, the peak week protocol. So training sessions and training footage, footage of me traveling to Melbourne for the first show, what I'm consuming on the carb up day, getting my fake tan, and then some backstage and show footage as well. Once again, thank you for coming back to the channel or discovering the channel if you're new, and stay tuned for the next episode for peak week and hitting the stage for the first show of the 2025 season coming soon. Much love.